Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy CIZZY, aka College Stutzer, back at it again with another episode of the Voices of Value podcast. I made a little, disappearance there for a few weeks, but we're back better than ever. And before we even jump further into the conversation about who we have on the show, before we even jump further into how we got this beautiful setup, before we jump into anything else, let's start off with our call to action. You already know what the vibes are. This is what I like to call an agreement between me and you. Go to YouTube right now, press the bell so you get notified, press subscribe, so every time I post a new podcast, you are up to date immediately. Then go share this episode with a friend if you enjoy it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with our guy, Yazn T. I just call Yazn T because that's his IG name. Yeah. It's the easiest way to get at it. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Before I introduce myself,
yes,
it's probably like my fourth or fifth time out here. We need to eventually make a Collis and Yaz show.
Man.
Fire.
But, especially if we get the beautiful setup like this.
This is dope. For those who don't know me, my name is Yazn. I go by Yaz. I'm the brand director, creative director, owner of the brand Yazn Global. Kansas City, born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri, 23 years old. So,
yeah. I love it. And I like to ask this question because it helps us get a little bit deeper into who you are, makes you think a little bit deeper about it. So if I was to ask your mother, which you've been posting a lot of funny stories about, by the way, on your IG. So we're not going to share those stories here, but I do want to ask, if your mom was asked by College Stutzer, hey, how would you explain your son? Like, describe your son. Describe his personality, his character trait. What do you think she would say?
Rebellious, ignorant, mean. No, I'm just kidding. She'll sometimes consider me like rebellious, and she tells me to do this, but I'll do that. But at the end of the day, like, your mother knows what's right, especially if she's been on this earth longer than you have, obviously. So she's obviously going to try her best to keep you from making the mistakes that she has made. It's like any parent. But I get a lot of my artistic things from her. She draws on glass. She used to draw on glass. I think she still does it from time to time. But yeah, she knows I've been at this for a long time. So she's gonna I don't give up.
I love it. So she knows.
She prefers, I'm going to cut you off. She prefers till this day, doesn't go back to college, go get a degree. She'll consider it that I've made it in life when I have, when I'm in a 4x4 cubicle, sitting at a desk. And I tell her, I said, look, I could do that now. I could go get a resume now and then go do that. But your son is wanting you to do this while he's 23. I can go back any day. I know somebody that's 50 years old that got a degree in doing something. I can go back and do that eventually, like at 50 if I had to. But right now, with me being, I feel like the black sheep in my family, because nobody really in my family has took the route that I've took. A lot of them have took school, trade, something. I said, forget all that and jumped into, being an entrepreneur or up and coming entrepreneur.
I love it. I feel like you can immediately call yourself entrepreneur once you make your first dollar. And I know you've made your first dollar.
Of course, yeah.
So, up and coming or not, you're an entrepreneur. You've been hustling for it. And since you were young too, man, I think, when did you start selling your, let's just say, pieces? Because I don't want to restrict you to clothes. We'll dive into all the different things you create now. But when did you sell your first shirt, hoodie, shorts? Like, what was the first piece you sold and what age were you?
Sophomore year of high school.
So 15, 16?
Yeah.
What was that piece? Do you remember what it was?
It was it's like this pleather wallet. Like a pleather.
What the hell is pleather?
It's fake leather.
Where the hell do you get fake leather at?
Joann's, right up the street.
My man's do be at Joann's though.
I be everywhere now, bro. I be at Tandy Leather. That's where you go get leather from. You can get leather from anywhere too. When I go out of town, I try to go to leather shops and stuff too out there. But yeah, that story, I'm gonna incorporate my mom once again. She bought. I think I've talked about this in one of the episodes, but I'm gonna speak on it again. She bought this sewing machine on Black Friday. don't know if you remember the story. She bought sewing machine on Black Friday. We just had moved into a townhouse, and I was like hella bored. And we got this little office room, so I opened up the sewing machine, and I watched a little YouTube video, and I just started sewing that same night. That Monday, people started seeing me. I started selling like little wallets for like $10, little ones. But then before that, actually, I was no, I take that back. After that, I was customizing shoes. I learned how to the Angelus paint and all that kind of stuff, Air Forces. But that ended up having me in the hospital a couple times because the fumes is bad for you. Real, like I got asthma. So.
Yeah, I'm about to say, don't you have some? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you ever have a friend that just be on Instagram sometimes, and all of a sudden out of nowhere they just pop up on their story just in the hospital bed. They just be in the hospital bed. You like chilling, you scrolling through your story and shit. Like you scrolling through his story, and then you're like tap. Okay, it's a T-shirt. Bro. Boom, tap. It's a new bag he created for some NBA player. Tap. He in the hospital. Yo, what's going on? Some be in there for like 7 days talking about I can breathe now. I'm like, what happened? He don't even say asthma either. He just be like, I've been in the hospital.
Yeah. No, I mean I do have asthma, but
did that impact you at all while you were growing up? Like as a young bull, like do you remember a lot of like asthma attacks or crazy shit like that?
A little asthma attack, like I was going on all day basically. Like it was just having trouble. I go to the hospital. That's when they found out I have asthma. But over time, it got better. But as I got older, I became a rebellious dumbass in some things. I had a little hookah or a vape or a cigar from time to time. Like if I'll smoke a cigar if I'm like at an important event, right? Because I don't
Match
drink.
The vibes.
Yeah, I don't drink, so I'm gonna just do that instead. Or I mean, moving forward, I should just do nothing because if it's not oxygen, it's bad for you. So, it didn't really affect me until I started doing that stupid shit. So can we cuss on here, right?
Yeah. You did.
So
yeah.
It didn't really affect me until I started doing that. And my father even my father is always like, none of that is good for you. And I'll agree and go do it like an idiot. So I'm not addicted, but it's just something to do. But I know it's going to affect me worse than it's going to affect a regular person because I have asthma.
Understandable. And you just mentioned your pops, and I just realized I don't think we've really talked about your pops much on past episodes. Yeah. So I'd love to just dive in really quick, just shortly. Like, what's your relationship like with your dad? And maybe that similar question in terms of, like, how would he describe you? Is it the same thing, rebellious, wild, mean, black sheep of the fam, or is he a little bit of a different perspective or approach just because of, being the male with his son?
He's supportive of his kids no matter what. And sometimes my mother isn't agreeing to that because sometimes we don't make the best decisions. He doesn't necessarily support, like, us doing stupid shit, but more so of, like, for example, my first car ever was a GMC Terrain, 2017, I think. Decent. It was a nice car, and I made a decision out of emotion rather than logic. He went in there and co-signed, and he was like, "This is what you want. All right, I'll just co-sign it." Like he's supportive of it. Biggest mistake of my life because I was making payments and working 2-3 jobs, and it was hectic. But he was also the first person that took me to meet my first celebrity client, Jacquees. He drove me to Lawrence. That's when I first got that car. He didn't really trust me driving that far. When I had an artist named Smokey Margiela, who's A$AP Rocky's artist, used to be artist, he drove me all the way to Oklahoma. So he's always been supportive. He's as much as he could. He's till this day. I mean, he watches my social media. He watches stuff that I do.
What's that look like though? Are you like pulling up on your pops like, yo, I make this cool shit. You already seen it because you see me in the house making it, or you see me on IG making it. Can you drive me 3 hours away because I'm about to try? Because it's not. Sometimes it's not guaranteed. Correct that you're going to meet these artists. Bro. Exactly.
The only thing that's guaranteed in life is death and taxes.
100%.
I had to learn that.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I've been over here crying to my boss about taxes lately. He's like, you're not even an employee here, so you can utilize. But this. He's been trying to educate me, put me on game and stuff. I'm like, look, I don't want to put 10% of my money away for taxes. I want to spend it all. Yeah. But anyways, that's another topic. But back to Pops. Like, how are you pulling up on him and like asking him to take you to these places? And does he like hip hop? How does he feel about that? If I ask my dad, he'll be like, "Are you sure this is a safe place?" No, so what's the vibes?
My dad, he usually lets me run my own thing, even from my younger years. As soon as I see the tour buses, drop me off. Drops me off, and I go do my stuff. Matter of fact, I take that back. The first person I met was T-Pain. I think I was like 14.
This is in Kansas City?
Kansas City. He came here. It was Michael Vaughn, Keezy. Shout out to him. Shout out to Nave Manjo too, because they were on tour with them. I'm not gonna even bring this up, but they know what I'm talking about, and I kind of get to giggling. But yeah. So I met him. I was like 14 years old, I think, and they were touring with him, and I was an annoying fuck in their messages. I was super persistent. It's sickening, bro. But I was young, man. I was young, and I've always had that drive to get stuff that I want, and try to, execute. But about my father, yeah, he's supportive till this day. He's always saying, you took the hard route. Because obviously the easy route is go corporate or go this and retirement and kids, wife, and all, then retire at 60. I don't want to do that. So,
right.
And he's supportive. Doesn't necessarily mean he's supportive financially. He's supportive of, like, he's always, he's all for everything that I do.
And how do you feel about that? I think, one reason I like to talk to you, and I'm always comfortable like re-inviting you back on the show, is you have your thoughts and you share them, if that makes sense. So sometimes we might have, what do they call it? Contrarian thoughts, where we have thoughts that go against the norm, that go against the social norm. Some might perceive it as aggressive, rude, wrong, sexist, whatever it might be. You can title it whatever you want, but you're not afraid to share what you believe, even if it's in the current moment, and it might change in the future, but you're not afraid to share what you believe. So what does that look like for you in terms of, you said he doesn't necessarily support financially. Was there ever a point where you were like expecting your parents to support financially, or were you always like, nah, I'm going to get this on my own?
In my younger years, and he remembers this, every fabric store run, here's $20, here's $20, every single time. Till this, like today, he doesn't support, like, say I'm working on drop 3 right now. Mm-hmm. I can't go to my father and be like, I need 10,000, to start to get this drop. I got to run ads. I got to go on a promo run. I got to pay photographers, models. I got to pay my 3D designer. I got to pay inventory. He's not going to do any of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with that. But, what was the question?
Yeah, no, just like when you ask, are you afraid? Were you ever afraid to ask for money, or were you like the type of kid who was like, yo, I expect my parents to support my dreams? Like, what was your perspective growing up? Or were you kind of just like, yo, I appreciate that, Pops. I didn't ask for it, but I appreciate it, in terms of like, some people would be like, I expect this money from my parents, or some people would be like, I'm too stubborn to ask. Like, where were you on that spectrum? Too stubborn to ask, or you're comfortable asking but you don't expect it?
In my younger years, yeah, I was spoiled, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I bring this up all the time, bro. I'm one of the most privileged men on this earth. Many could debate it, but till this day, I still say I got both my parents in my life. They'll give me their 2 cents, although I may not be in agreement. They might not agree with what I do, but I couldn't have any other way. But as I was growing up, like I said, they would give, my dad, he would give me money to go get material. Sometimes he could, sometimes he couldn't. But, it's just, man.
I respect it. I love it. Walk us through a day in the life of like modern day Yaz. So you have 14 you have 16 you have 18 you. We're at 23 you now. So I know you're working on a new drop, but like just think about the past year. What does a day in the life for you look like? I know what I see on your story, so I'm gonna go ahead and share. If I got to answer this question for you, it's 12 a.m. Go to Genesis Gyms. Make sure you have 2 Bang energy drinks. Knock out 2 Bang energy drinks. Get your session in. Come home. Crash out for a few hours. Up at 4 a.m. sewing at some random place. I don't know where it's at. None of my business. But sewing somewhere. Oh. And then just routinely then 12 p.m. another bang, maybe a quick gym run back to the Joanne's. Talk to me.
I don't go to the gym late anymore, bro. I go to the gym early.
Yes. Wins.
Last Friday I was at the gym at 5 a.m.
Okay, finally, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a constant conversation. Me and Yaz, like every few months, I'm just like, hey, brother, I need to come in and do
a workout, man. That's the constant conversation. But I need to come in and do a workout. But yeah, it'll be I'll get up, go work out, shower and everything, and then just get started on my business. And I feel like growing 1% a day, even on the days where I feel stagnant. Mm-hmm. If I accomplish one thing, I won.
What would be the most important thing for Yaz to complete if like we were in tomorrow already and you were like, yo, I got to get some shit done, but you're not feeling motivated? What would you prioritize as priority number one for your business tomorrow? What are you focusing on?
Currently, right now, would be just to work on this drop that I got coming up. It's super chill drop. It's nothing crazy, but it's still something I'm just gonna put out. And yeah, and just networking. I like to network every single day. I like to get in contact with people every single day. That's why I don't want to hear excuses from nobody these days, bro. Everything, all my minor success that I've had, it's nothing extravagant in my eyes, but all the minor success that I've had, bro, has been through networking, through social media. It hasn't been, family knows this, that knows that, or somebody in the higher ups that I'm just super close with. It's literally just networking on social media.
And I'm going to force you to do something real quick. And this isn't Yaz doing this. This is Collis asking on a podcast where he's supposed to answer this question. So could you list off some of the artists you've provided gear for? I'm not saying they posted about it or anything like that. Just people you've provided gear for, handed it out. I know some people in my head, and I don't want to say artists only because personally, I don't actually give a fuck about any of the artists. I like athletes. I care about athletes and like cool people.
We're going to mention athletes first.
Yeah. But run through the list. And again, this it's not him bragging. I asked him to do this. Go ahead.
I mean, shit. If you're gonna consider it bragging, that's on you.
Facts.
My success that I've had is not overnight.
Yeah.
And just like a lot of people could vouch. But I'll mention the people I've even been around besides just clothes.
Yeah, please do.
My first athlete was Andre Drummond.
Andre, big ass.
Good guy though. He's a real good guy. Second athlete was DeAndre Brembry. Third athlete, which I got to give a big shout out to Fink, Star, and Renee, Ishmael Wainwright.
Yeah, shout out my twin.
Yeah, so those were the athletes so far. I'm in talks of getting some other stuff too. But recently, ASAP Rocky.
Yes, sir.
He came in town. Didn't go the way I needed it to go, but one thing about me, it's always the next time. And
I'm gonna adapt myself up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be extra right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be extra right now, ladies and gentlemen.
You need to put that somewhere. That photo.
Yeah. Hey, if we could plug the photo of me at the ASAP Rocky shoot in the background in the fly suit and the briefcase, but I wasn't even talking about that. I tried to call you with an opportunity. On that day, my lady had.
I was inside the video,
I think not the video. It was some work, some.
I know, but when you hollered at me and she even hollered at me, I'm literally I'm moshing with the people. I'm not even supposed to have my phone.
I'm dead.
And I said fuck y'all and still took the phone.
Right, valid.
What was the opportunity? Can I hear it?
Well, it might have been what you already did. If it wasn't didn't you drop off? Oh, you know what?
I'm gonna speak on it. Yeah, I'm gonna speak on it. So, and shout out to Rel for this one. Rel is ASAP Rocky's best friend. Real good guy. I met him also through network on the internet. This wasn't a have somebody that knows somebody. This is literally meeting on the internet during COVID. First day of Ramadan 2020. Literally. I message him and he responds back and he sees what I got going on. So I call him. So you know what? Shout out to Wanye too, because Wanye hit me up at 7 in the morning, and he got that photo. He got that legendary photo. When I seen him with the homie Eddie, and they were taking that photo, I'm telling you, fuck everything I had going on. Things didn't go my way. I felt happy. I swear to, this isn't even on no fake positivity shit. I actually felt happy when I seen you in the footage, and on top of that, I seen Wanye and Eddie. Because I know Wanye, he made that yam sculpture for him, handmade.
It was hard.
Handcrafted, so it was amazing. But Wanye, as I'm waking, I'm half asleep, I'm looking through my phone, he texted and said, hey, there is a Rocky shoot coming up or something. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So he sends me the email, I get, selected, whatever. But then my other homie, Charlie, shout out to him, he calls me, said, hey, did you get this email? I said, yeah, I did. He said, oh, this is going to be so dope. And I'm on my way to a leather shop because I'm working on a whole other piece. I'm working on this little leather jewelry box. I don't know if you've probably seen it.
Of course.
And I'm like, all right, I haven't talked to Rel in a while. This is gonna be calling him asking for a favor, but it's almost like,
why not?
What's the worst that happens? He just doesn't pick up. I just don't like being that guy that I don't talk to you until I need something. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like, shit got to get done. So anyways, I call him. He picks up. I say, yo, I need a couple minutes of your time because he just had a child. I heard Rocky's in town. He said, all right, make it happen. I'll see what I can do for you. So anyways, I'm gonna speak on this, then we'll move on to other people because we don't. So what ends up happening? Get to the shoot, and they make us sign like a little NDA, whatever,
waiver and all that. Yeah,
for whatever reason, but which I could respect.
Yeah, it's part of that game, but it'd be cracking me up when you sign the NDA, but then like 5 minutes later you see like 7 what do I want to call them? Respectfully, but 7 snow bunnies just running around taking Instagram videos and shit. You like, did y'all not just sign the waiver? And then y'all that just made them sign the waiver, what you made them sign the waiver for?
Were they a part of the video, or they were just catching them in traffic? Because they were riding.
Oh
around.
no, the people catching people in traffic, their security was kind of on. They was on. They were like,
Hey, one thing I'm gonna say though, bro, Rocky's security
was dope as hell. Hey, shout out. I need to. Hey,
Sway,
you know what?
Shout out to Sway. First off, I don't know if you know who that is,
bro. I don't even remember Buddy name.
That. I thought Nelly was in town too when I seen him. I'm sorry if you see this shit. I thought we had Nelly in town. But man, the way I'm telling you, bro, the way this shit played out didn't play out the way I wanted to. Cause some shit, but I'm not gonna speak on it. But the way I just knew this day, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear from nobody, bro. You just gotta have better social skills. You gotta network, and your work actually has to be good. You know, it's a lot of people who just do this shit and they water this fashion shit down, and then I end up sounding like a fucking hater. That's why you swiped up and saying
Don't worry, we're gonna talk about that. Hold that. We're gonna talk about that.
Cool. All right. So, anyways, we're at the video shoot, and we're moshing. Mind you, I have asthma. I got this little.
And we in the West Bottoms. If you in Kansas City,
90-degree weather,
man,
bro.
you already know the vibes of West Bottoms, and it's dusty.
Did you have the?
Oh no, I was chilling. Y'all had to suffer respectfully.
We was in hell.
Yeah,
we was literally in hell. So, anyways, I got this thing on. Then Rocky pulls up. Everybody start fanning out. But I'm like, huge fan of Rocky. But I got
social skills.
I got a hidden motive
skills.
too. Like I got a motive, a great motive to show my work. So anyways, we're moshing, whatever. Remind you, I'm 5'8", 5'9" on a good day when I have on certain kind of shoes. I'm getting these bullshitters. I'm getting crushed, bro. It's we're moshing and everything. And I'm like, man, it's all part of the game. It's part of the game. I'm just keeping my mind, part of the game.
Yeah.
And then anyways, we're taking a break. And then I see this guy named Sway. That's what he told me to call. I don't know if that's really told me to call him that.
Was it the old head?
Nah, I gotta show you. I'll show you.
Go ahead. Continue.
I walked up to him. I said, yo, because he hopped out the car with Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
He was the passenger. He hopped out. And then that's when I was like, okay. I walk up on him, dap him up, introduce myself. And this was a segment where I didn't have my phone. They made us put all of our phones in
the little bag.
Yeah,
thing,
which I understood.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yo, do you have Instagram? He said, yeah. I was like, man, look, I want to show you something. He gets on his phone. I show him. And I was like, I got this bag for Rocky. If there's anything you could do, I'd like to present it to him personally. I don't want to give it to you and then you give it to him and then disregard it. I don't want to do that. So he was like, hold on. Walks up to Rocky. He was like, Rocky was like, Rail told, like, he already seen this bag.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, bro, I need that. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, cool. That's step one. Step two, we get back. I end up talking to this other guy. He kind of gets like irritated with me because I'm moving around. I'm trying to go meet this other person to see if I can get this other connection.
Yeah, you active. Yeah.
So he's kind of getting irritated because he thought I wasn't taking his word. When in reality, it's like, bro, I've already been through this 100 times with a bunch of celebrities. So I respect you, but fuck what you're talking about. I'm gonna move around and try to get to these people, get to the main guy. So anyways, Rocky gets there. I present him the bag. Again, didn't go the way I wanted to go, but bag still got to him at the end of the day. So
at the end of the day, handle.
So the other who else have I got my stuff to? Jacquees, that was my first. I met Kanye West. Now that I can say that, I met Kanye West November 2021, and I want to shout out somebody that's pretty controversial, Whack.
Whack 100. Yeah, I seen you got a few photos of Whack. I think, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah. One thing about him, you'll never catch really saying anything bad about that man. I have no reason to. That man gave me an opportunity. Which shout out to Rocky He's also think he's family with Bone Thugs or something like that. But he introduced me to Wack, and then Wack ended up. When I met Wack on this app called Clubhouse, he told me to fly in the next day.
Man, pause though. Pause. Shout out to Clubhouse, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Clubhouse. And this ain't no sponsor post or nothing like that. But Clubhouse really connected a lot of individuals, like in situations like yourself, fashion designers, people who are video editors, just like people who are killing it as a creative and got on Clubhouse and worked.
Collis, listen, I'm going to tell
you.
Yeah,
go ahead. Shout out Clubhouse.
Half my success, I'm telling you, bro, half my success that I've had was shout out to Sierra. I'm probably going to send her this clip my damn self. Because I'll forever give her credit. Like, I love that girl. She really, if it wasn't for her, she literally texted me in 2020, hey, check out this app on Clubhouse. Or check out this Clubhouse app. Mm-hmm. So I get on. I'm not thinking too much of it. It's during
and you had
COVID.
To get invited, too. So she probably would have wanted to invited you on there.
Actually, somebody's road manager invited me. Some Victor Kennels, some random guy,
hey,
right?
Shout out Vic.
Yeah, I met him, but he disregarded me when I see him in person. But I don't know how we just ended up whatever. But I'm not thinking too much of it. I still got the message till this day that she literally said, get on Clubhouse. I'm not going to show it, but some other shit. But she was like, get on it. That same night, I think I ended up talking to Jim Jones and Tyrese because I was in that room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? So it was dope. But then I ended up locking in with this like Andre Drummond. That situation didn't happen. Shout out to Drewski. If it wasn't for me,
I was hoping I made that plug, but I guess I didn't.
What do you mean?
Because I had Drewski on the podcast. I had Drewski.
Who's Drewski?
The DJ, Drummond's DJ.
What the? How do you know him?
Just same shit you on out here networking. But no, I got him on the podcast. Then like a few weeks later, like swear to God, a few weeks later, I see you making the bag for Andre Drummond and saying shout out Drewski, and I was like, hold up, did he find out about Drewski through the pod? I was just going ahead and take pats on my back that day. I was like, yeah, I must have done that.
But
no, that's funny though. Yeah,
I was in a random room, and we were in a random Clubhouse room, and we started talking. And he connected me with Mike Bourne. Shout out to him, and shout out to Marty as well. He connected me with his team, and I ended up flying during COVID, pulled up to his crib and presented it to him. That's when I got that picture. Yeah. But then, who else? Who else did I mention? Who else have I had?
Well, I want you to, just because you're in the middle of remembering, I want you to double back to WAC 100, how that relationship, you said Clubhouse, so go ahead and connect the dots there and why you were shouting them out. And you said it right after the Kanye situation, so put those pieces together for us really quick.
This was in 2021. So the way I was going through like this little tough, which we all, as creatives, as entrepreneurs, as just humans, we all have these little phase of like just second guessing or like just not being our best spirit. And I get on Clubhouse, and it's like 2 a.m. And then I connect with this guy named Rocky. It was a room called Sleepless in L.A. He's from L.A., I think. And then he sees my work and everything, and I'm door dashing that next day. It's in November, bro. It's kind of cold. It's cold outside. It's just gloomy. It's gloomy as hell. It's just, it's hell. But I call him. I said, hey, is there any way that you can connect me with Wack? And when I'm thinking connecting with Wack, Wack's going to be able to, at the time, I'll be able to make something for Blueface, or I'll be able to make something for the game, or Rage, just be able to make something for somebody. Yeah. And then he said, oh, yeah, no problem. I'm driving, that Quick Trip on Warnell?
Yeah.
I'm pulling in.
That's my spot right now.
Yeah, I'm pulling in. And then we get off the phone, and then Rocky mentions me. He said, hey, this is my guy. It's my guy Yaz. He, does such and such. And then Wack went to my page and seen it. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I like that. I like that red bag." And it was a little bullshit on my behalf happened too. I kind of messed up the play, but I'll put it on the table. I don't care. Life is, being a creative is all trial and error anyway. So he was like, "I like this bag." And he was like, "Matter of fact, I'm gonna put you in front of Ye. Come out to LA tomorrow." So I end up like, I'm leaving the Quick Trip. And I slam on my brakes. I'm like, you got to think, bro. I'm going through a week of like just second guessing. What am I going to do with my brand? Yeah. Should I do this? Should I do this? Whatever. I slam my brakes hard. And I was like, what do you mean? And I get to looking at ticket prices and everything. So I book everything. Mm-hmm. And then my father drops me off at the airport. And I get to LA. I have one of my homies that I met through Mike, one of my homies, also my best friend. Shout out to Quavo. He picked me up from the airport. And then I end up meeting Wack. But one thing that I messed up till this day, and I think that's what he'll remember me for, I brought a prototype. I didn't bring no actual, I didn't have actual product. What am I going to do? I think I try to mention that I have a prototype. I don't have actual, this is when I didn't even know how to hand sew, none of that. Get there, Wack sees the bag. He said, man, I can't show this to Kanye. And I was like, fuck, cool, whatever. But at the same time, anybody else, because Wack, he ended up like, he still had me moving around with him. I met Mark Wahlberg. I met Jermaine Dupri. I met I think Playboy Cardi's people was there. Cardi wasn't there. Who else did I meet? I met a whole Jay Prince. I met a whole bunch of people. Killer Roy. I met a whole
some legends.
Just being in that environment.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I have no sleep, by the way. I have no sleep.
Listen, y'all, I know how Yaz move. I literally had talked to Yaz on the, I don't know if I talked to him on the phone or had texted him one day. Literally one day I'm like, yo, hit me when you back in town, because he was in New York City. I said, hit me when you back in town. Damn. Next day, I go to the airport. I was flying to New York City. I was flying to New York City today. He get off the airplane. I'm going into the airplane, and we run into each other, and I'm like, bruh, didn't I just see you awake like 8 hours ago? I was talking to you. Buddy was like, nah, I traveled in the morning. I was in Kansas City. Afternoon, I was in New York City. Now I'm coming back in the nighttime.
I don't be playing, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up the Wax situation.
Sorry.
And then I'm gonna get to New York.
Yes,
New York
please.
Was a flop. 1,000,000% flop.
Let's talk about the flops, because they need to hear that too, right?
So, anyways, I meet Ye, and I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked, bro. I'm like, man, I can't believe I went to sleep to wake up and still be shocked, because it's like, bro, I just got around all these people. Obviously, if it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have done that for me. But he was disappointed in me. He was like, bro, like, I gave you opportunity. You show up with a prototype, which in my eyes, till this day, I look at it. I don't even have the prototype. I see the picture. I'm like, man, I hate this shit so much. Not because it messed up an opportunity, but more so it's like, bro, you really could have. I just learned one thing I keep in my head now, bro, in my mind, how I operate as a man. Be ready so you don't have to get ready at all times. Like, it's just that's just the way to go.
Proper preparation breeds performance. Proper preparation breeds performance.
But yeah, so that's that. But New York, that's when I was gonna go give Rocky the bag.
Initially. Okay.
And
that's kind of hilarious.
That's when I was gonna give,
because then we got tied back in at the shoot together as well. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
That's when I was gonna give Don Tolliver his bag as well. Shout out to Doc, which is his DJ. He's from the town, but real good guy. He's real good dude. But I made
Doc come on the podcast. Go ahead. Sorry.
But I made that whole situation flopped completely, bro. I get there. I probably spent, I think, $2,000 on that whole trip. Gee. But it's just, I had to keep. I get there, and me and Rocky's buddy, he changed his number. Wasn't avoiding me. He changed his number. Right. So I'm like, bro. So I show up to Rolling Loud, and they're getting ready to get the police chief is there, because the Rolling Loud on Friday, it was I think it was a fight going on backstage, so they had extra security the next day. The police chief was like, he seen what I had going on. He even was getting ready to let me in. He let me in the first section. The second section, you got to have credentials, Rolling Loud rules, or you're not getting in. So if the police chief, his damn self, couldn't even get me in, it was no way in hell I was getting in. So I couldn't get in. And remind you, I'm spending Uber money back to back. I think it's like from Rolling Loud to back to my hotel, which I was staying at a terrible. I'm not going to even mention the hotel. Prices was through the roof. I had to thug it out. So $75 back and forth. I'm like, fuck. So that just flopped completely. But I get back. I run into you. Mike picks me up, and did he pick me up, or was my father? Oh no, it was Mike. Mike picked me up, and then we get back to the house. His friend fucking DMs me.
Wow.
I lost my mind. I'm like, bro, you cannot be fucking serious right now. I lost my mind completely, bro. But yeah, that's what
It's part of the game. It's part of the game.
And I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I couldn't have it no other way. I couldn't, because at the end of the day, I want to have a book about my life.
Yeah, and the only way you can do that is by creating the stories. I think that's one thing I've been thinking a lot about lately. Is just like, as an individual who is, I'm just conservative. Just like with my bread, I'm conservative with like.
You gotta watch how you say it these days.
Facts. But I just like.
I am too.
I don't like to go out. I don't like to interact. I just want to sleep, get some exercise in, train my clients, go back to sleep, get some exercise in. But like knowing the type of life I want to live and the type of people I want to impact, and like also, I got a partner, so I got to consider the type of life we want to live as a partnership. Like I know I got to be outside a lot more. Like I have to. Like I need to be moving how Yaz is moving, with DMs, pulling up, dropping bread. Even if I don't have a guaranteed opportunity, sometimes you just got to show up.
But I think, go ahead. The thing I'm gonna say, bro, having a partner and doing that, y'all gotta have. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure y'all do. I got the same mission.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe two different fields, whatever. But like with me, that's why I don't see myself getting married no time soon. No girlfriend, none of that. This shit get lonely. Don't get it twisted. It gets lonely. We'd like to have, as men, that woman to give us some sort of balance and comfort us. But when you're doing this shit, bro, it's just like, I feel like with the amount of L's that I done still take to this day, a large portion of people would have gave up.
So do you feel like, because, and we won't spend too much time on it, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know, I read a lot of your posts, and I ain't gonna lie, I disagree with like 95% of them. You know what I'm saying? But like you, no, keep it fun, bro. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's why I ask respectful questions. I'm never gonna be an individual who's gonna like screenshot something and be like, niggas on Instagram talking about this, they need to stop. No, I'm gonna be like, hey, why do you say this, or why do you think that, right? So like, do you think that you're kind of like jinxing yourself, or maybe tricking yourself into like not being able to find a partner that supports you because of like maybe your perspective or like your mindset? Or do you genuinely just feel like you've not run across somebody who can handle the type of lifestyle you want to live? Or do you have any thoughts further on, we won't spend too much time on it, but just relationships in general for Yaz? I feel like so often I see you coming at it from what I consider, you might not consider, but what I consider a negative perspective. Like, well, if you're feeling that way and you're thinking that way and you're saying these things, you're not going to like put yourself in a situation to meet somebody, because you're not even going to be visually looking for it, because you're going to be assuming already that this shorty, even though she's being dope and being cool, you're just like, you can't handle this life, and then be done. You're not even going to give them the time of the day.
You make me sound so bad. Nah,
I'm just saying.
I like these kind of conversations, because you're not just a guy who just like, you're a good friend of mine, and you still could tell me when you disagree, and I genuinely appreciate that. I truly have not run across anybody that could handle how I operate. I have high standards too. I feel like that's the only way to live life. You gotta, if you wanna, I don't wanna live average for the rest of my life. Right now, I live average. That's what I consider it. But my end goal, I'd like to live above average, and I want to be able to be successful, and I want to be able to share my success with that one woman. Like I mentioned in our previous episodes, bro. Some people get in my position, or the position that I want to be in, and get to exercising their options. It's a saying. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of sleeping around. I'm not a fan of going to clubs and picking up females. And no judgment to anybody that does that. I sit back and I look at how a lot of women operate towards me now, but before they weren't. So that's why I developed this mentality of like, a lot of y'all just aren't the one. And I don't mean to, put my own self on a pedestal and think I'm all that, because I'm not, but I just have high standards. And it's so weird how life works. A lot of women respect that. They respect the fact that I'm not just like, you throw me a bone, I'm just running after it. I'm not, But a lot of the stuff that I post on social media, bro, you got to take, especially I troll a lot.
You do troll a lot.
Take it with a grain of salt, with certain shit that I say. But at the same time, what I don't like, if I showed you my phone, a lot of these women, they'll text me the most off the wall crazy shit. Send the most craziest shit.
I ain't gonna lie, some of the screenshots you be posting is crazy. Crazy enough, ladies and gentlemen, crazy enough for me to be like, I think Yaz is a down-to-earth individual, but is he creating these text message threads or what? Not obviously. I joke, but I'm like, damn, people are saying some wild out-of-pocket stuff. So I can understand how you feel, and I can also understand from a certain perspective. You carry yourself very well in person, but definitely online as well because you're a brand. You got to. That also just may be you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Also, I don't know you well enough to know if that's just you, but you do carry yourself well. Dress well, keep a haircut. You know what I'm saying? The photos you post match up with your brand and like what you're trying, the energy you're trying to put out there. And shorties, men or women, men from a different type of energy and women from like a significant other energy are gonna come at you from. Dude's gonna be like, yo, my boy, let's kick it. But they was never trying to be your friend before.
That's what
and
annoys me.
And then ladies will be on the flip side, obviously, with some different type of energy because it's a lady to a man. But you know what I'm saying? They'll come at you with that type of energy because they see, he's with this person. He's in and out of LA. He's doing this. He's doing that.
But look, this is where I tell you, bro. It's like only reason I screenshot. It's iMessage is supposed to be a two-way thing. You and that person. Only reason I've screenshot and post the shit is because I know for a fact if it was the other way around, I'd be a couple words.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Cancel.
I'd be
cancel.
No. It's like sometimes it's pure harassment, bro. It's pure harassment, and my thing is, it's like I don't find that attractive. It's certain things that
it's kind of disrespectful.
It's not really disrespectful. It's almost like if I was doing that, y'all, a woman would look at that as being weird.
But also on the flip side, like in my head, I think like what I hear you saying, which may not be what you're saying, is like if I was to say that to somebody as a male, it would be perceived as weird, maybe harassment, maybe crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Maybe disrespectful. And so on the flip, because they saying it to you, you like, damn, low key, like this is funny. Like you crack up a little bit, you screenshot it. But on the flip side, I feel a little harassed. I feel a little disrespect.
Yeah, bro. And this is what just irritates me. It wasn't like this, and I don't even know why it's like this now because I'm not where I want to be.
Because what I said, man. Because of how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
At least on social, And I ain't gonna lie, you dress well. You know what I'm saying? You keep a fly look.
I was actually on the phone with this lady earlier, a good friend of mine, and I was telling her like I'm pulling up. She's like, "What you gonna wear?" And then she was like, "You look like you're going to like an athletic funeral." I was like, "Damn," because all I wear is my
comment.
Mom.
All YouTube listeners, I want you to comment below or on the podcast, leave a review, whatever. If you think he looks like he's going to an athlete's funeral. What'd she say?
She's like, yeah, you're going to like an athletic or one of the two, but she's a good homegirl of mine. But she was, I'm like, my mom says the same shit. She's like, you dress like you're going to a funeral. All I wear is all black.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you just peep all episodes we've done. Yeah. All black. No, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. Let's transition though. Let's transition out of this talk. Thus far, we've talked about your mother's perception of you. You talked about how your father's very supportive. We've talked about some of the artists and athletes you've been able to interact with and get some of your products in their hands. We've talked about some failures. We've talked about some successes. We just talked about a little bit of your Instagram controversies. I want to kind of jump into your thoughts on fashion as a whole. And this is also kind of, I want you to take this opportunity to dive in what I cut you off with earlier. You said sometimes people just water fat like this. They water it down so much that you feel forced to like hold back. Or what's it called? Be a gatekeeper.
We must normalize gatekeeping.
And I was like, why would we normalize?
I got a phone call about that, actually.
Yeah, you almost got a phone call from me, but instead you just got a DM.
I'm telling you, I promise you, I mean well, but my delivery is just messed up.
But it's all good. Explain your delivery to the best of your abilities, or what you were trying to say. Specific to fashion.
It's oversat. Just like any other industry, I just happen to be in the industry, not like higher up, but like I just happen to be a part of fashion.
Yeah.
So when I see everybody and their mother just trying to do this shit, and some people would tell me I'm just trying to make a quick buck. It's people that have told me I need to run. I'm just trying to run it up, so I'm gonna just make these t-shirts. I'm gonna do this, bro. You're polluting the earth doing that. You're polluting the earth. That's why I said we need to normalize gatekeeping, because, and I've been through this too multiple times. I will give somebody a connection, screen printing connection, marketer connection that I haven't even utilized yet, photographer, video, whatever, and they will go fuck up my name. So that's why I said we need to normalize gatekeeping. You know, and not only just that, everybody's trying to do this shit. Everybody. And I'm not knocking it. And there's some people who have done it better than me. And, you know, they'll disagree with me. Like, oh, no, we just need to give to everybody. No, I disagree with that, because a lot of people are in this shit for profit motive. Not putting out art, not putting out things that's actually different or stands out, not putting out quality work, not putting out shit that's going to like last for a long time. That's what I consider fashion. I care about longevity, quality, and original creativity. But at the same time, like with the creative shit, you can only get so creative. You know what I mean? Because you just can't reinvent the wheel. So, you know, it's just that's why I said what I said.
But I totally understand that from my perspective. I had an argument / debate. I don't like to call them arguments because I always mean well with my debates. It's just having a conversation with my lady about that post, because I was like,
was she in agreeing or disagreeing?
She disagreed. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I was not necessarily agreeing with you, but I was trying to see your point of view.
I appreciate
That's something that I do a good job at that a lot of people don't. And so I always debate with people because they don't want to see it from the other person's point of view. That's just my thing. I'm peace, God. That's me. I'm like, peace.
Yeah.
How can I find peace with this person's post? He called this person this word. I don't like that word. Why would you call them that word? No, I'm just saying. He's like, wait, did I? Who did I call the C word? But nah, anyways. So my perspective, my point of view, or how I was trying to see what you were saying, is I was like, I think what he's trying to say is exactly what you just said. Sometimes you give somebody the plug and they go fuck the whole situation up for you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the plug is, whatever industry you might be in, you give somebody the plug, and now they go on and trying to use your name to vouch, yo, this person told me to come to you, but this person has bad character traits. They show up late. Their product's trash. Their how they communicate is trash. They don't give you your money, whatever. Now your name is associated with that. So sometimes you got to gatekeep information from certain individuals because you just don't trust them or their character trait or how they move. So I do understand that for sure. That was part of what you were saying. Yeah. The other part I respect heavily, because that means that you're genuinely a lover of the art.
Yes.
And I think 100%. That people who actually love the industry that they're in and care about the art of their industry, I can't say that I'm a podcast fanatic. You know what I'm saying? I love podcasts. I wouldn't say that I study the art of podcast. I know the first podcast that ever dropped. I'm like, hey, I think I talk well. I think I like to have conversations, right? But if I've met people who've been doing podcasts since like 2008, when they had to like do weird shit like record to a fucking iPod Nano and then upload it to you know what I'm saying? I've met people who've been in the industry that long, and they think the same thing. They need to gatekeep the information in podcasting, because too many people are creating podcasts thinking that they just gonna be vibes and they can talk about anything, and then it's oversaturated.
Are you a fan of gatekeeping?
I'm a fan. Hey man, that's a trick question.
And hold on. I'm gonna tell you why.
The way you asked that, I didn't like that. I see your tendencies, brother.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. I also partially contradicted myself every time, but I want you to answer your question. Answer my question first.
I'm a fan of gatekeeping something you care about passionately, so that people don't degrade the art of the work.
We're on the same thing.
Yeah.
But why I partially contradict myself, you know, and I don't know who else I've graduated with from 2018 to 2017 or below. It's probably my 6th time going back to my high school. I don't charge for it. I don't do any of that. and I don't care how much money I make, this day moving forward, I'm never going to charge to go back and talk to the youth. Because I feel like after me, after us, it's them. And I wish I had somebody like, I don't mean to toot my horn either or brag, but I wish I had somebody like me in my younger years trying to
come back up and talk to me. Yeah. When I'm a young boy. Because
why I partially contradict myself is because as soon as I get done talking to these kids, they come up to me. They made your boy feel like a star last week. They taking pictures with me. I'm like, cool, I appreciate that. But, I give connections. I give screen print connections. I give them, they follow me on Instagram. I tell them DM me and I respond. I don't tell them DM me, not answer. I just think that's just messed up. And I give them all kinds of connections. How do I know those kids aren't gonna
hurt the art, right?
Or not even just hurt the connection. So that's why I partially contradict myself at the same time.
I get what you're saying. I think it's a hard line to walk, and I don't think it's necessarily I stand 10 toes on this. This is an absolute. Yeah, no. It's really just general feelings around something, and the words we're using for today, using for right now. But we are about 5 minutes towards the end of this podcast, so I want to go ahead and. Man, we always talk, and the next thing you know, the time fly by, and I'm like, "Damn, it's been 49 minutes." It's just.
So we need to do a Carlos and Yaz show.
We're gonna make some shit happen for sure. But I want you to take this moment to show some love and shout out individuals that you really think have played a critical role in your knowledge gain in this industry, specific to knowledge. Sure, networking, connecting. Amazing, super essential, super key. We'll leave that for podcast episode number 77 that we do together, right?
Yeah, not facts.
But I want you to talk about people who have just really just gave you some game about fashion that helped you like create a product a little bit better or understand how to sew a little bit better. Or
I'm gonna mention probably shout out to probably the only person I'll mention besides a store, London Mud.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, man. That's like a. I don't want to make you sound old, bro, but he's like an OG. He's like a guy that and one thing about him, he's going to pick up that phone. When I was first learning how to sew duffel bags, I'd call him. I'm frustrated. He's sending me sketches on a little pad. He's sending me voice messages of like, all right, the circumference, you got to measure the circumference of this, to do this. Mind you, dude has a whole family, runs his own shit, and he's been at this shit for, I think, way longer than me. So shout out to him. And that's really it. I mean, when it comes to the fashion side, that's all I can really give my shout out to.
No, I respect it. And before we sign out today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure that I shout out No Solutions Productions. You see the vibes right now. That's all I'm gonna say. You see the vibes right now. You're gonna see this post-production vibe. And anybody who's been a long time listener is gonna know how much Collis appreciates the love, the support, and being under the roof of No Solutions Productions from here on out. So shout out to them. Go follow them on IG. Their page will be tagged in the description below. But before I sign out, go ahead and share your socials. Where can they find you? Where can they buy your product? When should they expect that next drop? And then we will sign the show out for the day. I want to say
drop 3's coming up in October. My Instagram is YAZZ_T. That's my personal. My brand one is YAZN Global. My website is yazgnglobal.com.
I love it. And God willing, that will all be in the description as well. Make sure you like, share, leave a review if you're listening on podcasts like Spotify or Apple or Google Play. But more specifically to our YouTube followers, press that notification bell. Subscribe, leave a comment. I love y'all. This is CIZZ Voices of Value Podcast. Salud.